Bravo, Pinocchio.
They like me.
You are sensational.
You mean I'm good?
You are colossal.
Does that mean I'm an actor?
Sure.
Right, so when I saw the first trailer for Liza P, my initial thought was, what a stupid name for a game. And my second thought was, damn son, you look good, please don't be another Steel Rising. Well, apparently it's not. A demo for Liza P appeared on Steam a few days ago, and you know what? I think it's bloody amazing. Before starting, I'd like to take a moment and appreciate the fact that video game demos are coming back, or at least it seems like it. I can't say I'm surprised with the abundance of broken releases we've seen this year only, but I'm not saying that to dismiss or depreciate NEOWIZ's decision to drop a demo for Liza P. If your game is one way or another a brick of doo-doo butter, dropping a demo won't save it, and Liza P, it feels like, doesn't need saving. What do we know about NEOWIZ, by the way, aside from being both the developers and the publishers of Liza P? They made and published a game with an overwhelmingly positive review count on Steam called DJ Max Respect V. Maybe they should consider firing that person responsible for naming. And a free-to-play game with a mostly negative review count called AVA Global. They've published a few games too. The most notable one being Skull the Hero Slayer, that was pretty good by the way. So we have a studio with zero experience in Souls-like games department. And it looks like they're not just pulling it through, but they are about to kick a few arses on the way and show some of them big names how it should be done. Anyways, let's briefly talk about the game itself. Liza P is set in the La Belle Epoque era. It's 1871 to 1914 Europe, that's what Wiki says, with a dark twist, and takes place in the city of Krat. In Liza P, city of Krat has been overrun by humanoid-looking automatons called puppets and turned into a death row due to a so-called puppet frenzy, an event that made most of the puppets mad and turned them against humans. You play as Pinocchio. Yeah, just imagine hearing this a couple of years ago.
Hey mate, I'm from the future, no time to explain. In a few years, there'll be a Souls-like game released where you play as Pinocchio that looks like Timothée Chalamet, and you will love it.
Sounds like a crackhead's fever dream, yeah? Well, yeah. But anyways, you play as Pinocchio, a special clever puppet that looks exactly like you and me, unlike the other puppets you meet. So basically, Pinocchio is David 8, and the rest of the puppets are these twats from Alien Isolation. Aesthetically, like I said, the game looks like 19th century Europe, but with a dark and grim twist. So pretty much 19th century Europe. A lot of people say that it looks a lot like Bloodborne and promote this idea as if it's the game's main selling point. And I think, yeah man, they do share some similarities, that's for sure.
Welcome home, good hunter.
For instance, both games are set in the 19th to 20th century European city, only Bloodborne is being more grim, gory and horror oriented. But Liza P also seems to share similarities with Bloodborne mechanics wise, but we will talk about it later. Story is being given to you in a well-known Dark Souls fashion, through dialogues, random lore notes and item descriptions. Even gestures have descriptions in Liza P. Like this one that says even a stone bridge should be tested. That made me touch every single bridge I came across in search of hidden shites. No luck though. Visually the game looks stunning at times. Look at all these lights reflecting in water puddles. Whoever's responsible for the game's art direction shouldn't be fired like that fella who comes up with names, they should be promoted. The game design wise indeed is breathtaking, and I often found myself stopping just to enjoy the way some of the places look. Also I like how now loading is now lying. Anyways, I'll let the game speak for itself, check it out. Sound design is exactly what I expect from a solid Souls-like game. Exploration music is not distracting and is on point. It's more like a droney ambient experience, or I don't know, a sun concert. I like the sound effects too. Footsteps are heavy, weapon cling sounds are crisp and satisfying, puppets dropping on the ground sound like when you drop a bag full of hammers on concrete or something. And yes, I've done that multiple times. I like to repeat myself saying that everyone knows nowadays how to make beautiful games, and a game being beautiful shouldn't be used as a selling point anymore. Give us interesting mechanics and satisfying combat, blah. That's exactly why I was worried about Liza P being just another Steel Rising, an interesting looking game that just doesn't feel nice to play. And again, it's not. Combat in Lies of P feels good, man. Exactly how fighting mechanical automatons should feel like, in my opinion. Enemy movements are choppy due to their mechanical nature, but that doesn't turn them into sad punching bags, quite on the contrary. And Pinocchio is swift and moves gracefully like a handsome gazelle. What's really cool is that the game rewards you for being aggressive. Do you remember how in Bloodborne, after being damaged, you have a chance to get some of your health back simply by attacking somebody? It's pretty much alike here, only it works both for yourself and the enemies. You see this? You deal permanent raw damage and also some percentage of damage that needs to be acknowledged, sorta, by attacking again. Otherwise, it slowly but surely replenishes by itself. There's a decent variety of enemies too in the demo. There are puppets with crude makeshift weapons, puppets with these things, what do you call them even, chandeliers, candelabrums, ranged attack puppets, and these wankers who together with the bombers might just send you to a very, very dark place. I don't want to spoil too much, although I've probably already said more than I should have. Go check them out yourself, you might be surprised and caught off guard a few times for sure. Let's talk about Lies of P mechanics. The game clearly is inspired by Soulsborne titles and takes the most popular elements of the Souls formula. For bonfires you have stargazers, for souls you have ergo, for Estus flasks there are pulse cells, you lose your souls upon death, and all the enemies except for bosses and mini bosses respawn after you die or rest at a bonfire. There are butterflies too, Lies of P's equivalent of crystal lizards. They also turn you into a greedy magpie and lead you to an ambush. Nice try, NEOWIZ, but no, I'm a veteran. Although there are a few things that Lies of P does differently. For example, your pulse cells can be gradually charged by attacking enemies, which potentially could be a very interesting mechanic. Imagine fighting a boss and running out of heals a bit too early in the fight. You can replenish your pulse cells by continuously attacking the enemy, and given that you're not getting hit back, you'll eventually get an extra pulse cell charge that might help you turn the tide of the fight. That only happened to me once, but it felt good and rewarding. So you have a health bar, which is pretty straightforward. Drop it down to 0 and you're dead, but also there's a so-called fable meter. That is pretty much your weapon art meter and used to perform weapon arts. What's interesting is that you can also replenish it not just by using specific consumables, but by performing successful heavy attacks. Again, this needs to be further tested once the game's out, but it as well feels like a very interesting mechanic that rewards you for utilizing all the tools you've got. There's also Legion meter, that is pretty much your mana, I guess. Legion is used to perform actions with your robotic arm. Here's another mechanic that you don't see too often in Souls games. Upon death you drop your souls and have one chance to get it back, right? Well, in Lies of P, the more you get hit on your way to pick it up, the less souls you are getting back in the end. I'm not sure if I like it. Most likely it's there to put some extra pressure on the player, but I'm not sure that's how I want to be pressured. It's like in Dark Souls 2, enemy placement and the amount of enemies in some locations is just there to piss you off and put you under unnecessary pressure. Fucking ludicrous, you hear that? The Iron Keep, you make me sick. There's a day and night cycle that seems to be scripted and tied to a location, but it's nice. Cloudy morning, for example, feels like a cloudy morning and makes me want to go out and watch people at the bus stop waiting for a bus to go to work. My second favorite thing ever in life. Weapon system in Lies of P is also pretty interesting. Instead of having different types of swords, for example, they consist of two parts, a blade and a handle, and they can be separated from one another to assemble them the way you see fit. For example, if you ever wanted a rapier with a greatsword handle, you're a weirdo. And one more thing before we move on. It looks like there will be no armor in Lies of P, just costumes. I can see that going terribly wrong already, but I'll be honest, I was quite happy to find a donkey costume. Being handsome all the time is very hard and energy consuming. And just imagine all the weird shit modders will do to poor Pinocchio in September. Let's talk about performance. I have everything maxed out and I haven't experienced any stuttering, lags, bugs or glitches at all. Lies of P is so polished you can see your own reflection in it. I'm running it on a rig with a 12GB 3060 and I've got 16 gigs of RAM. I know I'm getting more soon, like tomorrow. I have nothing else to say about it really. It performs like every AAA game should perform and not like every AAA game performs nowadays. Hats off, NEOWIZ. Hats off. Now, the game will cost you $60 for the standard edition. Is it a lot? Well, it's up to you to decide, but hey, you have a very important tool at your disposal to help you decide. The demo. See? CI Games. That's how you showcase gameplay. That's how you do it if you want a 60 for your game. You show something that is not a beautiful wrapper, that might just be hiding a big tight ball of horseshit inside.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
It's also worth mentioning the playtime. You might think that I booted up the game and went watching people go to work, but no, Liza P demo is very long for a demo and features not one, not two, but 3 bosses and lets you explore some big chunks of Krat City, including Krat Hotel, local Firelink. It's actually ridiculous, and the game pulls that stunt for a few times when you think, okay, this is over. But it's not, it just keeps going. I was excited for Liza P from the very beginning, since it was announced for the first time. And now I'm even more excited, but I'm also walking a dangerous path. My expectations are very high. Do I think the game will be a flop?
No!
But there's always a chance of something going tits up, right? To be honest, I thought Liza P will be a $30 worth AA title, and once I saw a $60 price tag I was like, what? But after playing a demo, I feel like the price is very well justified. The only thing I'm worried about now is the playtime. I wish Liza P will be at least 6 times longer than Titanfall 2 that I finished the other day. So instead of pre-purchasing fucking Starfield that is coming in September as well, go buy something nice for your mom for once. Or pre-purchase Liza P for yourself. At least Liza P has something to show you already. And it's something that is 8 hours long if you are as bad at it as me. Thanks for watching. See ya.